Good morning everybody and Happy New Year. I got back from Tasmania last night. I'll put some pictures up of the trip. It was amazing, did a little fishing, a little hiking, such a good time. But this week I am slowly getting back into the workshop to start the new year. I woke up this morning to some bad but also kind of good news. For the past couple weeks I've been working on this design for a client. It's a big computer desk and it's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. So there's a sound absorbing panel at the back. We've got grommets for power to come through on the shelves. There's some drawers. I was pretty excited about doing this, but I was also nervous at the same time. This morning, the client contacted me to say that actually they were no longer going ahead with the build because she's moving interstate and so she no longer needs it. So I've lost the job, but I'm also kind of happy at the same time. Something I've learned after doing that bathroom vanity is that screwing together melamine is very profitable. It's a relatively easy job. So this type of work is pretty straightforward. However, there's two things that were concerning me. The first, I had a few people say to me, working with black melamine is an absolute pain in the ass because it scratches so easily. So I wasn't particularly excited about that. You know, I'd have to put this big thing together, disassemble it, deliver it to the client, rebuild it all on site while not scratching it. So that's like, that made me a bit nervous from that perspective. And then the other thing is just its size. It's massive. And I have a ceiling height of 2.2 meters in this workshop. This is coming close to 2 meters tall, 2.4 meters across. It's a very, very big build. And I don't really want to have to be managing massive sheets like that in my small workshop. I was going to do it because again, it should be an easy win. But when you have such a big project with so many parts, there's a lot that goes into it. So that easy win status drops off relatively quick. Today is the day that I'm going to film the script for the vanity build. I've been putting this off, sitting on the script, trying to refine it. But I think it's there, and I've got to get this video out. I don't want to sit on it for too long. So behind me, I need to get this all set up. The script's ready to go. Today I'm going to sit down and do all of this voiceover. All right, all the filming is done. Now I just need to edit all of this in and do the final edit for the video. I've just taken delivery of the shirt. This is the one for the giveaway. So now I can get that into the box, get that all packed up and sent off to the winner. A couple of people said to me with this giveaway, just be careful. There's a lot of potential pitfalls where you can, just make an ass of yourself. I must say, so far, touch wood, this whole giveaway has gone really well and I'll probably do it again in the future. The only thing that I'm not particularly enjoying about it is that there's a lot to do. Like, I've got to get all the prizes together. I've got to liaise with the winner. I've got to now post this back out. And I mean, these aren't big things, but when you are very time poor, it's a lot of extra time out of the day. So I will do it again, but it's not going to be something I do multiple times in a year. Hey, that is honestly the most hectic climb I've ever done.
the next day and I've had a client drop something off. This set of drawers. Now, essentially everything's fine, but they've just said that the runners have failed. So it uses these old, steel ball bearing runners. And if you have a look here, that's not right. That's supposed to be filled with ball bearings. I've got these exact type of runners around the house and mine have failed too. So I'm going to investigate this for the client. If it's just the runners that have fallen apart, I can just replace them, easy job. But if the cabinet's sort of out of square or something like that, then it's going to be a bit more of a tricky job. And to be honest, I actually don't know if I'm going to go ahead with it. If it is there. I think from what the client said, this was made by a local cabinet maker. He did give me a name, but I don't want to mention that because I don't know the circumstances. However, it feels like part of the problem is that these drawers aren't fitting nicely. So, you know, when I run this drawer in, it's catching all around here. So, you know, even if I was to replace these runners, I don't know if it's necessarily going to fix the problem. Like, that one's okay, but yeah, this is one of the problems with these types of runners. These runners aren't good at side-to-side movement. You can see that. So this is exactly what happened to mine. This is always going to cause the drawers to bounce left to right. And so it makes me nervous then, even if I replace the runners, I don't know if that's going to solve the problem. All right, I am probably not going to do this job. Well, I will do this job under a caveat. Let me show you why. If we take a look inside the cabinet, that piece of black plastic is supposed to be along here. On this piece, there's supposed to be another section like this. Same goes for this one. You can see a whole component is just missing. This one down here is in a bit better shape. That was in better shape. Yeah, there's three possible things going here. The first is that this cabinet was never made true and square, so all the runners are fighting the drawers the whole time, which is why they've fallen apart. The second thing is that these are just cheap runners that don't work well. I've used them before, they aren't great, so it could be that. And then the third thing, and this is the one that's got me most concerned, is that this drawer has just suffered a lot of abuse. So in all three of those circumstances, I can't guarantee that my job, my work, is gonna survive. So what I'm gonna say to this client is, I can do the job, I can't guarantee it though. So I can replace all the runners, get it working, but I can't guarantee that in 2 weeks it'll still be okay. I think that's a fair thing to say. So essentially I'm getting this cabinet back to where it was when he first bought it, so he'll have a good idea whether that's something he wants. But I don't feel safe committing to solving this. Okay, it's all done. I've started filling up the drawers. I'm sure all of this is going to change as I start using it. I've used this, I don't know if, I guess you'd call it particle board. It's similar to particle board, but I think it would normally be used for subflooring. I've used it just because it had a nice consistent surface, and I kind of like the look of it. So I sanded it back a little bit, and now I've put 3 coats of water-based polyurethane, it's a flooring version, onto it. So it should be pretty hard. That'll hopefully just keep any glue residue from sticking to it. I'll give this a good week for the poly to cure. So I think that's going to work well. Also, a last-minute addition. I'm pretty used to being able to clamp things to the workbench. So I don't have a vise on here. I've never really got into vices, but I do like to clamp things to the bench. So the last thing I did was to add this strip of pine. I glued it to the underside of the top, just so that with the constant clamping on this edge, I'm worried that this particle board and MDF will just slowly but surely, lose its integrity. So having this piece of timber at least gives something more solid and hard wearing to clamp onto. Also got these drawers around the back, so these were the last ones that I've done. I envisioned my track saw going in there. I don't know if it's going to stay there long term. I might just keep it in the box, but that's in there. So I think what I need to do now is talk to someone with a 3D printer or CNC to cut out some drawer dividers to make the most of this. But other than that, it's all done and ready to go.